It's a boomer stream. It's a boomer stream. I'm so boomer right now. I'm fucking on Linux. I'm trying to stream on Linux, and actually tell me if my voice is fine, because I've set up a wonderful professional system for talking into my microphone, where my stand is a like a lamp stand that I'm holding down with weights, so that I can put my mic closer to my face. So tell me if my mic is too quiet or whatever. Oh jeez. Okay. Hello everyone. Voice is fine. I honestly can't believe it's actually working. I expected this to be a fucking disaster. I was thinking 5 minutes before I went live, like, oh shit, I should have tested this. I should have tested this. It could still crash. It could still crash and be horrific, you know. You're drinking Monster. Yes, of course. Of course. So, it is hot as fuck where I'm at. And the Europeans are like, oh, we have like this great healthcare system, and we have such a high quality of life. But the trick, you see, the trick with their global healthcare is that they don't put air conditioning units in anybody's homes. So you just want to fucking die. So if you get sick, you just allow yourself to die instead of using the medical resource, because it's too fucking hot to live. And of course, I could have this wonderful fan right here. This is a great fan. I could just let this, let this wonderful fan cool me off, but instead I have to turn it off so that I can talk to the people and not be blown over by my fan, to my detriment. So I hope you understand the suffering, the personal suffering that I go through to make this podcast. On top of that, I've actually went back and archived all the old people streams on the podcast feed, and also on matattheinternet.com. That took my entire Sunday. My entire Sunday was spent fucking taking that shit and editing out the copyrighted music and putting it up and getting it formatted for the web. And I don't know. Hopefully it's worth it. Hopefully people will want to watch those things at this point in time. I kind of listened through, and it's kind of, my setup was so shit back then. It's shit now, but back then it was even worse, and you could hear like the echo. It really bugs me. And I noticed that one thing that I really changed about how I talk to people during my streams, from like when I first started to now, is I still do the and thing, which I really hate, and I want to work on and stop umming and erring. But earlier on my first streams, I would, instead of umming and erring, I would just say fuck. So all the time I would say something's fucking or fucking and fucking this and fucking that, and I don't know, I'm not like a Puritan about vulgarity, but it's really noticeable that I would interject the word fuck just to take a second to let myself think, instead of saying which is less annoying, I think. I don't know. I think someone emailed me about that and said, can you like stop saying fuck like every other word? It's really annoying. I was like, oh yeah, I do that all the time. I had to change. I've tried to change it. I've tried to change, and I stopped saying erver too. It's really noticeable when I go back and listen, like how mispronounced that fucking word. And I never noticed my entire life that I pronounced it that way. I don't even know if I did. Maybe it was just like a recent thing. Maybe I acquired brain damage, or I got like a parasite that made me mispronounce that word, but definitely a thing. Old Josh better than new Josh? Probably. Maybe. Depends on your metric. However, my plants are excelling. Let me using Linux. Can I show my plants? I can. Here we go. This was last week. The plants had just been potted, I think, or they had been potted for a week. I don't know. I think they had been potted for a week. And the flowers, the peas were just starting to flower. The basil was just starting to get big. And the fucking dill is like ridiculous. The dill is massive. This is this week. And the banana peppers are huge. They are bigger than your hand now. They're pretty large. And at the top of them, I can see the flowers coming in, and those are going to be banana peppers. So I'm gonna have to get some kind of pickling equipment so I can make pickled banana peppers. So someone actually sent me an email saying that they had like a Ukrainian grandmother who, no, a Polish Jewish grandmother that could not cook for shit, but she could pickle things amazingly. And he gave me his Polish Jewish, I think dead, maybe not dead. I don't want to say dead in case she's still alive. His Polish Jewish grandmother's pickled banana pepper recipe for me to try, and I will definitely try that man's grandmother's recipe, and I'll get back to you. Maybe it's a Jewish trick. I don't know. We'll find out. My first peppers will be completely fucking ruined by this this Jewish grandmother's recipe. We'll find out. But as you can see, not to dwell, the peas are now actually producing. I'm waiting for them to be ripe, and I'm gonna pick the peas, and I'm gonna eat the peas, and I will be proud of the work and the toil. I will enjoy my peas. Time's pretty big. Still smells good. The dill is like retarded. The dill is growing like straight up. It's not getting bushy. I'm still picking the flowers off of it. I didn't realize that dill grows to be 8 feet tall. I didn't realize that dill was a kind of tree that grows like a pine tree. Apparently it does. And one of them, I don't know what the fuck happened to it, but it's growing sideways. It's the most retarded looking thing I've ever fucking seen. I don't know what to do for it. I'm thinking of like putting in a chopstick and tying it to that so that it's gonna grow straight. I don't know what's wrong with it. But I'll put it in some borscht. Maybe I'll chop it up. I'll put it in some borscht. And that's the plan update. Coin update. I promised people that on the first coin would be struck June 14th. That has been delayed. I keep this up to date. If you go to the site and you go to Silver Sale, you'll go directly to this page and you'll get a list of all the updates that I've published in the description. These were the designs. They took these two drawn designs of the coin and they digitized them to have a texture to them. And I approved the texture, and then they started sculpting it into the actual. Why does it open this page instead of using a lightbox? They've finished doing it, but they can't. They legally cannot strike the first silver rounds until after the government permits them to do work. So they're saying that the COVID-19 lockdown will end on the 28th, and they won't need a license after that. But they've put in a license to do business during COVID, and they've been denied because they're not an essential service. So really, it's just fucking bullshit. And it's so annoying knowing that these dies are done. They're ready to go. They're sitting in a fucking office somewhere. They look great. You can go see them. They're super cool. And they can't do anything with them because they're because of COVID. It's frustrating because I know once the first ones are struck, if they look good, people want to buy more, and I'll probably have to open up sales again because people will actually want them. Because before it was just like a far off fantasy. Like, invest in this idea that one day I will be able to take these designs and make metal coins out of them, or rounds rather, for legal purposes. Once they're actually made, people actually want to buy them or buy more of them. So that's exciting. I hope things ease up soon where they're at, and we can get some coins. Okay, now I don't usually review movies on my streams because it's like, who cares about my opinions of movies, right? However, I watched a movie called Wrong Turn. Turn down my noise gate. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm cutting out. Okay. The noise gate has been lifted. Now you can hear everything I say, hopefully. I got too far away from the mic. I got lost in thought and I got too far away from it. And clink the coin. Look, my coins are in my desk. I do have these. I'll clink these. In my high quality microphone, I will clink them. They sound a bit weird just because they're in shrink wrap, but I have other coins that right now they're in capsules, so I don't want to take them out, but those are the coins. I can't wait to clink my own coins of my own design, of my own fruits. Okay. Now, my movie review. I watched a movie called Wrong Turn. It was kind of okay, but that's in spite of this. I'm going to play like minutes of a movie, and you're going to see what I mean. So let me make sure that Linux is working. It is not. Fix that. Okay. So, welcome to Virginia. A bunch of yuppies from California going to Virginia. First shot of the main characters, her foot and I think it says "fuck cancer" on it. I didn't notice that the first time I watched it. I just noticed this, but it's a foot shot, and she's like an Instagram hoe taking pictures of her foot.
What do you think of this one?
It's fine.
The second shot of characters is Pajit. I don't know if they're two Pajits or Iranians or Turkish. I don't know what the fuck these people are, but they're gay homos, right?
Come on.
What the fuck? I need that.
What? I want
Use my phone.
No.
Third shot of main characters.
Maybe you're fine. Just breathe.
Interracial relationship.
Open your mind. Enjoy it. Okay.
How about that one?
Is that how sad I look all the time?
Yes, you do.
Oh,
You do.
I must really love you.
You really do. It's weird how much you
You're weird.
love.
Now kiss me.
The only characters that kiss in this movie are the black guy and the white chick. They kiss like 6 fucking times and at totally inappropriate times, and it's completely on camera. Okay, initial event happens. So they pop a tire. Now they're all standing out and they have to replace the tire. Guess who is replacing the tire?
You know, making me look bad.
The woman is, of course. The black guy doesn't know how to replace a tire. Why would any man know how to replace a tire? Woman power.
Sorry. Don't be fucking girl power.
Literally girl power.
Where'd you learn how to do this?
My dad, he taught me 2 things. How to bait a hook and how to change a tire. My dad taught
What do you think the art hose dad taught her? We're in LA. What could they possibly be talking about now?
My dad taught me how to put in a tampon.
Oh my god, we have to have this in the movie too, because of course we do.
Single parent. His eyes were closed the whole time. Not a good experience.
Gay guys don't like women's hygiene.
Here we go.
I'm sorry, I had it way too quiet.
It's quaint. Yeah. Especially if you miss the good old days of the Confederacy.
Yay, now we have our themes. They're there. The overarching theme of racial tensions in Virginia, all established in 1 minute. We have a totally unlikable cast of misfits from California here in Virginia to cast judgment on the low lifes that live there. Shockingly, it gets a lot better than from there on because they all die. Spoiler alert. All the people die. They kill the gays off first. The black guy decides that he wants to abandon them and join some kind of cult. And then the woman is sold into like sex slavery with the chief. So they all fucking die horrifically. Really defying expectations. Sorry, I got distracted because there's a warning there that says, heads up, we've detected copyrighted audio and video in your stream. Your stream may be temporarily blocked. Go away, YouTube. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm being a good boy. I'm reviewing a movie. Excellent connection. It's gone away. Fantastic. Thank you for your permission to talk about things on the internet. Anyways, and again, just scream really loud in chat if there's audio issues because I'm on a completely new setup right now, kind of experimenting, and I'm hoping that it will sort itself out over time. I had a fun wake up this morning because I got a tweet from Rakita saying, hey, Josh, you want to explain this? And I opened it up and it says, hey, my name is Josh Moon and I am the junior LGBTQ editor at BuzzFeed. I'm like, is this like a joke? Did someone send this to Nick Rakita as like a joke? Trying to bully me? And I look it up, and no, actually, there is a Josh Moon from Alabama who is the junior LGBTQIAP plus editor for BuzzFeed. And if that's not funny enough, I sent him a DM, by the way, asking how many times he's been asked about the Kiwi farms. But if that's not enough on its own for like some weird cosmic coincidence, he has a brother. Do you want to guess what his brother's name is? His brother's name is Gunter Moon, not Gunther. Gunter Moon. I have never in my life heard someone named Gunter, but yet But yet there is a Gunter Moon that is the brother of Josh Moon, the junior LGBTQIAP plus editor for BuzzFeed. Now that is fucking bizarre. That is truly a cosmic coincidence. It's truly meme magic to have a Gunter. I've never heard of a Gunter. It's just fucking bizarre. I also kind of want to, on the topic of Twitter, I'm not going to, like, something happened with Easy Peasy, and hopefully people aren't going to think I'm, like, playing defense for Easy Peasy. He got, like, hacked, and someone posted a bunch of pictures of him in, like, weird, like, fetish cosplay, but it's, I don't know. I always assumed that he was a homosexual, and I've always assumed that because he's Jewish, he's a degenerate. So seeing a bunch of pictures of him being like a gay degenerate did not really surprise me all that much. He's recovered his account, and he's back at the helm of it. And apparently it's like an internet fight over a girl or something. I don't know what the deal is with that, but just to make sure that I talk about it before people accuse me of like playing favorites. But I also had an interesting argument with Dankula, because Count Dankula made a tweet or something saying like that doxing should be illegal, and I said that he's a hypocrite. And in reply to this, Lilith Lovett also came in and said yes, and dead naming is also doxing, and that should be illegal too. So I called him a hypocrite, and he sends me a DM, and he's like concern trolling me, asking me, "Are you okay? You've been acting strange lately." And it's like, number one, we're not like friends. We don't talk to each other on the reg. For him to know like what my baseline level of emotional distress is, for him to come to the conclusion that something has happened that I need counseling on. I said, yeah, I'm fine. It's just like, you're being a hypocrite. And then he goes in, and I said, like, so you're basically just asking for censorship here. And I'm tired of people who are degenerate and who are pretending to be libertarian asking for censorship. And he says, like, no. But you see, it actually makes perfect sense in a libertarian philosophy to censor doxing, because he thinks, and I don't know if he thinks this just because he wants to like win an argument or what, but he says that people should own the rights to their name, address. I don't know if he said name, but very specifically addresses and phone numbers. There should be like a privacy mark, like a trademark or a copyright for that information. And you can send a privacy complaint and threaten people with legal action if they use your address or phone number in a way that you don't approve of, which is just retarded. And then he goes on to say, like, he has a legitimate fear for his life, and he has a reason to not want to be doxxed because he's been beat up on the street, or I don't know, like beat up, but people have attacked him on the street, according to him. And I said, well, if people have attacked you on the streets, then surely they know what city you're in, you're a politician, and they know that you go to these events. So surely someone could just follow you home if they really wanted to find out where you lived. And he said that, no, that's not possible because he's privately trained to identify people who are trailing him, and nobody would be able to trail him back home because he would just know and know how to protect himself if that happens. So it's like, okay, number one, that's retarded. Number two, it's just retarded. Like, people can't find out where you live if they follow you in real life, if they know what city you're in. It's not like Count Dankula is like some really hard to spot person. He's like 6 foot something. He's fucking massive, and he's covered in tattoos. He's like the most identifiable person in the entire planet. But he goes on to say, like, he's afraid of, like, his baby being cooked by, like, a Molotov fire attack from Antifa types because of the Nazi pug joke. And it's like, bro, like, that's bullshit. It really is. It's just bullshit. And it's like, he asked me, wouldn't you lose sleep? Wouldn't you feel bad if someone got hurt because of docs on the Kiwi farms? I'm like, no, because it's not my fault. It's not my fault if a criminal does a crime. It doesn't matter. And it's like, the information on the forum is something that people found anyways to begin with. It's not something that's hidden. Those people aren't from the NSA. They don't have privileged access to marketing data or whatever the fuck. It's like, if we could find it, anyone could find it. But he said, like, oh, well, I lose respect for you then if you don't, if you said that you wouldn't care, you wouldn't be guilty about it. And it's like, okay, well, whatever. And I find it hypocritical because he is like, he's done episodes of his Mad Lads and shit about Drachenlord, and he's made tweets about how he wanted to go visit Drachenlord in Bavaria. And it's like, okay, so if it's Drakenlord, it's funny because he's like a designated retard that everyone's allowed to punch on. Everyone's allowed to go to Bavaria and take a pilgrimage to Drakenlord's house so they can shit on his porch and get sprayed with water hoses and stuff. But if someone knows where you live, well, then it's political terrorism because you also are participatory in politics. It's just bullshit. It's hypocritical. And that's always my point about libertarians. And that's why I don't like to call myself a libertarian, because people in the movement, all they care about is, they don't care about financial policies. They don't care about stopping interventionism or reducing the size of government. It's very specifically about what their hedonistic desires are. It's like, I want to be able to do whatever the fuck I want, and nobody can know where I live. I want to be able to say whatever I want. But there's no, people aren't allowed to make fun of me for it, and I want to be able to jerk off to Lolicon, and nobody can tell me otherwise. And it's shit like that. It's never things that actually matter. And it's very frustrating, and they always find a reason to like when it's sorry, I clicked the wrong button. When it's something that bothers them. They're all hypocritical, and I don't even know like what to call myself anymore. It's just depressing me. It's like I said, I made a joke on Twitter. I said it's like, I don't want to call myself a libertarian. I'm just depressed now. I don't know. Yeah. Sorry, I pressed the panic button on accident while I was mid sentence. It's going to be fun editing the stream so I can put it in the archive. But like my thoughts on talking to him in particular is, number one, I kept calling him British and he got really upset, and I always do that when I'm talking to Scottish people because I know it makes them angry. Number two, I think that there's a fundamental discrepancy between how Europeans view liberty and how Americans view liberty, and that Americans accept that if you're participatory in politics, if you're going against the grain, if you're saying things that people don't like, and you have a country full of Muslims that are willing to stab you over cartoons, and you have Antifa, if you live in fucking Scotland, which is like the most liberal, progressive area of the United Kingdom, then yeah, you might be the victim of political violence. But as I say, those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. There's another variation that goes like, deserve neither liberty nor safety, and will lose both. And that is the underpinning of American liberty, is that we understand that when we have gun rights, people might take guns and kill each other. We understand that if we have gun rights, people might take guns and go to schools and kill kids. We understand that if we have freedom of speech, people might say things that incite hatred. We understand that if we have freedom of speech, people might post phone numbers and addresses. But we, as Americans, believe that it is important to take on that risk if we want to have our liberties. Because if we expect the government to strike some sort of balance for us, it's never going to happen, doesn't work, and we'll just be worse off for it. And we'll have neither what we wanted nor the original freedom. And you can't tell people that. And I'm so tired of it. Here's what I think. Here's my politics, and I'm getting out of it. I don't rant about it too much. Biden published some sort of manifesto about censoring the internet and how the biggest threat to the United States right now is domestic terrorism. So there's going to be a lot of aggressive moves from the government to continue censoring the internet in the United States. I think that this generation is too cucked to do anything. I think that our generation, if you're listening to this right now, you are of an age that is a non-factor. You're a complete wash. The best thing you could possibly do is have kids and educate them on your own to know what should be important. Because after COVID, after like the just talking to people, and I made a tweet saying like, you should not invite federal government employees at your house to dinner with you. You shouldn't have Thanksgiving with people if they work for the government. And you should encourage them to quit and find private sector work. And people said, oh, what is it with e-celebrities and encouraging people to cut people out of their lives, to tear apart their families? It's like back in the Civil War, it was literally brother shooting brother. It was a divide between the houses, and people were killing each other. And you can't even say, you don't even have the balls to tell your family members that you don't want to be around them if they're supporting a government that you think is unconstitutional. It's like I said with the snow video. You have these people who are literally crazy enough to believe that the government is painting Texas in chemicals of non-melting like synthetic snow. They believe that the government is so evil that they're doing this to cause some sort of direct physical bodily harm to you because they fucking hate you that much. And what do? They stand out there with lighters going, oh my God, it doesn't melt. It doesn't melt. It turns black. Wow. Huh. Don't see that every day. And they don't do anything. They just sit there. They just sit there waiting to get fucked in the face. And it's all the time. Nobody ever fucking does anything. No matter how bad it gets, no matter how scared they are, no matter how certain they are that something directly physically harming them is taking place, nobody does anything. And that will be this generation until the next one. This generation is retarded. And the best that we can hope for is to have kids that are less retarded, less lazy, less pathetic, and in a less stable situation than ours. I hope that there will come a day in 2040 where something happens like the Suez Canal crisis, where China says, we're going to take Taiwan now. China's goal, they want to have complete control over all their territory by 2040, and that includes reincorporating Taiwan. So by 2040, they're going to make a move where they say, Taiwan, you are now a part of China, and we're going to come to you with our military, and we're going to take you over, and your government is going to be beholden to our government. At which point the U.S. will probably say, China, don't do that or we'll respond militarily. And if China says we're going to do that anyways, and the U.S. either fails to stop them or just doesn't even try, then we'll have a situation where the U.S. government is emasculated and there are suddenly two global powers again. And that will be the time where maybe the U.S. can stop being so pretentious and our government will have other priorities than stopping domestic terrorism, which quote unquote domestic terrorism, which is just spying on everyone all the fucking time and stopping Spurge from talking about grapers and shit. Because I don't know, I'm just super frustrated watching this and knowing how fucking shit people are. Anyways, okay. There's a fat guy. I've talked about him before. His name's Jim Sterling. Speaking of political rants that upset your viewers, Jim Sterling put out a video on Monday, as he does, talking about Scott Cawthorn, who is the video game developer behind Five Nights at Freddy's. And Scott Cawthorn is a devout Christian, I'm pretty sure, and he donated a bunch of his Five Nights at Freddy's gains to Republican causes. He donated to Mitch McConnell, to Donald Trump, to the Republican Party directly. And this has caused a bit of upset on the Twitter, as it does, because people participating in democracy is the worst thing that can ever happen unless they're black or gay. So Jim Sterling put out a rant, and it's not like a deep dive into Cawthorn. It's literally just him being angry for 15 minutes about Donald Trump. And I couldn't finish it because he brought up Trump. He said that Scott Cawthorn supported Trump. And then to hammer this home, he just started reminding people who Trump was. Like, Trump was a really bad guy. Trump was a fascist, and Trump was abusive to immigrants, and he hated gay people. And it just went on and on about Trump. Like, bro, Trump was in office, like, less than a year ago. We remember who Donald Trump is. I don't need this refresher course on fucking Trump. And I just clicked out. And I didn't realize that my opinion was widely shared by apparently 7,000 people who unsubscribed from Jim Sterling just because of that video. And I think that's fucking funny that he's still finding new ways to like piss off his audience and cause mass like this. This has nothing to. He again on Twitter, by the way, is saying that this has to do with gay rights. It's because people don't like it when I criticize Scott Cawthorn for donating to anti-LGBTQIP plus organizations. And it's like, no, dude, it's because your video fucking sucked. Even your most hardcore viewers and fans, me, couldn't watch it because it had nothing to do with anything remotely interesting. So Jim Sterling is still like on this massive tantrum spiral where he's just putting out more and more shit that nobody can stand. Oh, and I have some miscellaneous LGBTQIP plus news. It is still June, right? So I can still talk about this without beating a dead horse. Daily reminder that traps are gay. Emily Darling, who is apparently, one of them, an alphabet person, as Dave Chappelle put it, and I quite like that term, saying the jerking off to trans people to becoming a trans woman pipeline is very real. Now people jerk off to me. The cycle continues. If you allow yourself to watch pornography, especially with she-males, you will become an Emily Darling. And I shouldn't have clicked that. I think it was just the banner. I forgot that if you click people's profiles on twitter.com, you'll immediately see their anus on screen. You'll see like there's always like you click these people's profiles, and on the 6th image thumbnail preview, like on the top right, at least one of them all the time is them on all fours where you can see their butthole and their saggy balls from the rear. Like when you're looking at like a horse from behind. It's like, bro, I don't want to fucking see this, but it's the first thing you fucking see every time you open these people's profiles. So just a general purpose reminder that if you jerk off to tranny porn, you will become a tranny invariably. This story also, someone sent me this and I found this funny. Well, not really funny. It's kind of like creepy and weird, but worth talking about. Lefty femme girl uwu. Now, I would think that this thing that I'm about to talk about is just complete bullshit, like a troll, but they had like 21,000 tweets over 3 years. So I'm pretty sure this is a real person, and they deleted everything after this got out. So let me get a sip of my boomer drink and we will read through this. Okay, I can't live with this any longer. I was a dangerous man when I was younger. If I didn't de-radicalize, I would have become a sexual predator. It escalated to the point I brought a girl to my house in high school and cornered her and tried to pressure her to have sex. The memories of that moment haunt me now. The idea is that I am some woman's worst experience ruins me. The fact I used to jerk off to violent material, was an open misogynist, and wanted gore so often scares me now. If I didn't de-radicalize myself, I don't know where I would be now. Now I live life on the other side. Now I, too, am the victim of unwanted sexual advances and groped by creeps, and I can't help think this is some form of karma for my past. I change so much sometimes I don't recognize old photos of myself anymore. I was and am currently scared to tell you all this. I don't want to ruin everyone's perception of me. By the way, the typing is just fucking awful. I don't know if they're ESL or just brain damage, but I'm scared you all would hate me for what I did, but the memories of that day keeps eating away at me and ruin my own self-perception. I never told anyone about this, but I'm telling everyone now. I don't want that burden anymore in the back of my mind. I want to apologize to whoever I hurt in the past. I now wish to never become a monster again. Thank you all for reading this. I still love you all. And then they add, I will say that I'm very proud of my would-be victim for standing up to herself and not allowing me to have my way with her. I don't know how I could live with myself if I was actually able to follow through. I look back to her as an inspiration to fully stand up for yourself. And then in reply to what I believe is a real woman asking, something I did 6 years ago? No, say exactly what you did. You attempted to rape a woman, in those words and nothing less. And then they reply, I attempted to rape a woman. I'm no longer that monster. And what I really, 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 really like about this whole fucking like diatribe is that it's really obvious to me, and for whatever reason, this is my take, and when I talk to people about it, they don't see eye to eye about it. But it's this one right here. Now I live life on the other side. Now I am too often the victim of unwanted sexual advantage and groped by creeps. And I can't help but think, this whole thing, the whole reason why they decided to tell people that they wanted to rape someone is that they're humble bragging. I think that this person is like, I pass so well now that I get molested in public. I'm like a real woman, and I know what real woman experiences are like. So I can empathize with real woman, just like a real woman can. And I see through it. I see what they're doing. I know what the gymnastics are. I had trouble getting people to agree with me about this, but I believe my take is 100% true. And this is also proof that the incel to tranny pipeline is also very real. Okay. Just the update, by the way, according to my notes here. The people were speculating, and I was kind of hesitant to even talk about it last stream because I didn't want to be pranked by some kind of publicity stunt. But apparently, the whole thing between Trisha and Ethan Klein about the podcast, the Frenemies podcast, is real. And Ethan says that he's done with it now, and he's done with her. He maintains that Trisha wanted to fire all the crew working on Frenemies, and says that he just can't fucking deal with her anymore. She's insufferable. He doesn't want to put up with her. The money isn't worth it. She's someone who will throw a fit at everything everyone says all the time, and he just has to eat her shit constantly, and he can't say anything about it because he's always the bad guy when dealing with her. So that's the official line now. I clipped that, but your mic was shit. Is my mic bad or what? I think my mic is fine, and this guy's being an asshole. Trisha, insufferable. No. Well, who would have thought that someone with BPD would be hard to deal with? Trisha wanted that 5%. They wanted a 50-50. It blows my mind that you had all this fucking money, and they didn't have any kind of real agreement between them. They didn't have like contracts or an LLC or bank accounts. It was just like completely winging it. It blows my fucking mind. But what do I know about business? Okay, and this guy basically saved the stream because there wasn't too much going on this week. And if you can't tell, I'm trying to like bloat through everything as fast as possible because I'm so fucking hot. And today is pizza day, and I don't eat that much on pizza day because I'm going to be eating pizza. So I'm really hungry for pizza, and I'm just thinking about pizza right now. But I will take a second to enjoy this. Now, before I even get into this, let me say that I really don't know who this guy is. I don't know his history. From what I see, some people I like this guy. I have nothing against him, but this tantrum is funny to me. He's like a small YouTuber that apparently has a little bit of a cult following. But his name is Thomas Baden Rice, and someone sent me this video and said, "Hey, have you heard of this guy? He's talking about the forum." So I went through it, and then I went through the second videos an hour before this stream. Thank fucking God, because they're really funny, and I'm gonna play through it now. Uh-oh. Okay, no, that's good. I thought it blew up on me. All right. Let me get my timestamp. And just play through the first 30 seconds of this.
So, kids, let me today address these allegations that have been made about me on Kiwi Farms. Now, as you know, I am the kind of guy who likes to address things head on. I'm not the sort of person who just hopes that bad news about me will simply disappear. I like to embrace things head on. If you're wondering why it's taken me this long, however, to make a video in response to this, it's because I've been unsure whether anyone really cares, and because I'm not like a Big E celebrity or anything like that. I didn't want to jump to make a video to address these allegations when, it would suggest that I think I'm more important than I am. But in any case, I think time has come now where I should say something on this matter. Now, I want to say something is that when the best way to make the best way to slander someone is to make sure that at least some of the things you say about them are true. And what I will say to you all is that if about 30% of the things that are said about me in this Kiwi Farms article are indeed true. And they are the sort of, how can I say, that is the grease which sort of helps the machine, it keeps the machine oiled and helps the sort of the slander to make sense.
Okay, so let me just show you what this guy's talking about. There is this thread called Thomas Baden Rice is a fake Jew with a fake Jewish name who threw a chair at a 14-year-old girl. He also assaulted a woman, and his ex-girlfriend has a criminal record for stalking. And it's all this fucking shit. Look how fucking long this thing is. It's so long, and it's just like rambling. It's like there's no pictures of this guy. There's no reason why we should care. And it was immediately sent to Spurgatory, which is where we put like garbage threads. And yet somehow this thing made its way to the guy, and he took it very seriously. I think there's like a group of people who are trolling him because he keeps mentioning like these northern nationalists. So there's like a group of people like America, Northern England, who want to like separate from the United Kingdom, and he is at a edge with them. As you can see, all the articles or all the replies are just like bullshit. And then it gets moved out, and then I get sent it, and I play his video, and I respond to it, just kind of like summarizing what it is. And I'll play through it, but that's the gist of it. Someone made this post, and it has upset him greatly, even though it was like sent to like the dumpster right off the bat. I'll switch back to this. Oh my god.
If you're going to go out there and say that I've got a criminal record for stalking, or that I've got a police record, or this kind of thing, that is slander, okay? That is libel. That is prima facie defamation of my good name under English law, okay? And that kind of thing, I'm afraid, is not on. You know, and people like some northern nationalists have been repeating these slanders online. And I will say to people like that, you could be in real trouble. I have spoken to my lawyers, or I haven't spoken to my lawyers. I've spoken to some lawyers, and they say that precisely what I said. This is prima facie defamation of my good name under English law. So you're engaging in libelous acts. You're engaging in defamation. Now, it's very difficult to police the internet. You know, that is what they told me. It's very difficult to bring a case. But in theory, people who repeat these lies could, you could face hefty, you'd have to pay hefty fines in theory anyway. You know, what I want to say is, because it's one thing for people on the internet to repeat these things. I'm probably not big enough that the mainstream media will ever come after me. They will probably never. I don't know, but it's possible that mainstream media will one day turn on me, and if they do, they might look to these, what's been said about me on Kiwi Farms and say, oh my God, no, this guy with these political ideas, he's got a criminal record, he's got a police record, this kind of thing. To which I will say, they would really end up in trouble if they printed this sort of libelous material.
His point is that he's concerned about this because the media might turn on him. Not just the northern nationalists, but the media itself might turn on him, which is a bit fucking schizo. And I legit thought he was like a random schizo until I saw that people actually do listen to him because he talks about shit. But there's 4 of these videos, by the way, and they're very like they're each like a weird like part of the crescendo, which entertained me greatly.
We can do that, but I want to repeat the idea that I've got a criminal record, for stalking or violence against women or throwing chairs at children or something like this. This is complete Tommy rot. It's utter nonsense.
What the? Okay, like I'm biased against British people in every way. If there's an issue that concerns the island, you can assume that I hate it and I think that the worst outcome should possibly happen. But what the fuck is a Tommy rot? Why does he talk like a cartoon stereotype of a British person? What is this? Why does he look like Nick Rekieta after an alcoholic binge that gets him like divorced and thrown out into a gutter by an English pub? Why, who is this person?
And it's come from the head of a deluded, drunken man who thinks if he dresses up in a dress, he becomes a woman. So that's what I want to say about that. But
he's calling the OP a tranny, which is pretty funny.
Also warn people like some northern nationalist that if you're going to promulgate these sorts of lies against me, these smears against my good name, then in theory at least, I'm not saying it'll come to it, but in theory at least, you are in violation of English law, because that is prima facie defamation of my good name.
All right, that's the first video. The second half of it's not as funny. So basically, the title of that one is Thomas Baden Rice is a fake Jew with a criminal record. And I say it like that because he like Tumblr caps it, where like every other letter is capital. The second one is called Help Me Fund a Defamation Lawsuit Against the Kiwi Farms. Oh boy.
So, kids, let me today make a brief video to update you on a few different things which are going on. Now, I want to say this is not the best period of time for me. I'm very, very stressed. First of all, because there's a lot of different people online giving me shit for various different reasons. Second of all, I've got personal things going on. My great-grandmother is basically in hospital. You know, she's at her end, and this is causing a lot of stress for her, myself, and indeed the wider family. So this is not a great time, but I wanted to say a few different things which are important. Now, the first thing is this. There's been some good news. The good news is that some northern nationalist has taken down all of the videos in which I was slandered.
So he starts off by kind of like pity partying. Like, yeah, my grandma's sick and in hospital, so you guys shouldn't be treating me this way, whatever. Then he goes on to say that this guy, this terrible northern nationalist, whoever the fuck that is, took down his videos making fun of him using the Kiwi Farms post as a source. Which is like, oh, okay, so he like defended his position, and this guy was like, oh, okay, I'm in the wrong here, let me take this down. No, that's not what happened.
Now, it was actually very simple and effective in the end. I basically, you know, I threatened him with legal action, and he duly took the videos down. I've also noticed that Alex Ryan has taken down his slanderous videos of me as well. So this, I will say, is a bit of good news for all.
Oh no, he didn't change his mind. He just threatened him with a prima facie lawsuit for liable. for liable.
Yes. Now, the second thing that I wanted to say is that after the first video I did about this Kiwi Farms bollocks, some subscribers of mine, they came to me and they said, Thomas, you know, you've never asked for money in the past 8 years. Why don't you set up a fund, ask for some money to, you know, carry out a lawsuit against Kiwi Farms in order to get them to take the, you know, the slanderous post about me down. And they basically, I wasn't particularly convinced at first, but, you know, one of them has, you know, a law degree, and, you know, all of these different subscribers, and there's too many to name, but they all suggested that, you know, that they would be happy to put in some money to this fund. So what we're going
who's British, doesn't like the Kiwi Farms, and has a master's degree in law? I wonder who that could be, advising this poor idiot to waste his fucking time and money trying to press a British lawsuit for defamation and libel in the United States. The rest of this video is not interesting. He just bitches about various shit until this part, which is just rude.
I want to say. The other thing that I wanted to say is about the amount of so-called educated people who are looking on Kiwi Farms. This is it is a trashy website. It's absolutely disgusting. It's an awful, sleazy, disgusting, revolting website. And yet I know that people who follow my channel, who claim to be educated, are going on looking on there. Do you know why I know this? Because it's coming up as a search result in YouTube and Google. So, you know, I'm really shocked that people would go on there. Of course, I'm more shocked that people would believe this shit, despite the overwhelming evidence that it's a complete load of bollocks. So,
very, very mean, just to do me dirty like that. The rest of the stream of this video is just talking about his dying grandmother, and that's not very funny. So we're moving on to number 3, called Vile Trolls Are Abusing My Recently Deceased Grandmother. Apparently he got cyberbullied after his grandmother died, and this is like, I really don't know who this fucking guy is. I have nothing against him, but this video is hysterical.
I want to say different things. I think this whole everything, the videos that I've made this week about Kiwi farms, I've made a complete mistake.
Yeah.
I've made a complete mistake. It's to do with the stress that I'm under, because it seems to me that the more that I've tried to tell people the truth, the more that they're not believing me. And also,
Okay, he recognizes that he has made a mistake. That's the first step. Surely he's not going to talk about a lawsuit in this video as well.
thank you to a few different people. Look, everyone who supported me in this, you know, deserves a big thank you. But I don't want to pick people out, but I would like to say to Stephanie, and you know, she'll know who she is. Thank you for your legal advice. You know, this was very helpful, and it's got me set up with, you know, Lipstadt and Kaufman, who will be, you know, advising me on this libel case, this defamation case against Kiwi Farms.
So he's made a mistake, but he's still trying to think of a lawsuit. Now, when I almost regret playing through this before the stream, because when I got to this part, there was something that he says in this segment that made me laugh the hardest I've laughed in probably weeks. It was so out of left field, because he doesn't come across as like a retarded person. He doesn't come across as like genuinely schizophrenic or like super manipulative, but he says something up in this that just like, I couldn't even fucking believe it.
I won't ever forget her final words. She was there literally on her deathbed, and she said, "Thomas, these slanders against your name and these trolls saying these awful things, they're just scum, and they've made my final days, you know, absolute hell." And I held her hand, and she said, "Thomas, for God's sake, make sure you sue everyone who has defamed you. Make sure you get money for the fund." And she, by the way, she said to all the people who've left kind words and prayers, she said, you are from God. You are amazing people. She said, "You're amazing people, and you have relieved her pain." In her final painful moments, you relieved that pain for her. And she said to me, "Thomas, they will pay for the fund as well. You can do this." So that's what I wanted to say. I don't want to make too much of a point on it, but in some ways, the people who have spread these despicable lies and, you know, smears about me, in some ways you did help kill Gromwell. You know, so maybe you need to look in the mirror, to be frank.
I can't even fucking believe it. I can't even fucking believe it. Sorry, Dankula, I'm not fucking crying over this one. Am I adding this to the kill counter? Do I have to add this one to the kill? We fucking killed Grandma by hosting this post. It murdered her. And it really staggers me, because I'm just like, bro, maybe you shouldn't be showing Kiwi Farms posts to your dying fucking great-grandmother. Maybe you shouldn't be doing, maybe that was the mistake, but he says like she Googles his name and reads up to what he's up to. And it's like, bro, like, number one, either that's bullshit, or you shouldn't have been sitting there in the fucking hospital showing her Kiwi Farms post to the point where it physically murdered her. Maybe that was the mistake. I want to add it to the list, but I don't think I can. It's all him. He murdered Nana by showing her cyberbullying post. Just unbelievable. There's one more video, and this one's called "My Apology to Kiwi Farms."
So, I just want to make a brief video apologising to the people at Kiwi Farms. It's been a really rough couple of days for me. I've got a stinking hangover at the moment, but I want to say, I want to apologise to the people at Kiwi Farms, to the people who run it, also to the people who use it. You know, I said it was an uneducated, trashy website, but actually, you know, now that I've looked at it a bit more closely, it's obviously, you know, they do some very good articles that are clearly well researched. But
He's delivering this like he's a Belarusian political prisoner, and I'm standing off to the side with a fucking AK pointed at him, like, say the lines, comrade. We will let you go home to your family.
I want to say, I don't want any beef with anyone on that site, you know. And honestly, I really, to be clear, I don't have any bad feelings toward the people on there. I think they're great. So you know what I mean. I'm interested. You know, maybe we should just sort of forget about this whole thing, you know. And I'll be happy to retract the videos that I've done on Kiwi Farms, you know, and then we can sort of forget about the whole matter. I have got the most stinking hangover in the world. I feel absolutely.
So I've watched half of this, and I'm gonna try, because I tried trying to find a point in this to clip it, and I couldn't think of one. I just like I'll play it all the way through, and comment on it if I feel the need to. I really don't know what his angle is here. It really sounds like this is forced, and I just don't get it.
Dreadful at this moment. I don't know what I've been doing this last week. It is fucking horrible. I don't know what is wrong with me. I think most of you who watch my channel across time know that from, you know, every so often I have an absolute nervous breakdown, and I do it publicly on the internet. And it's like, I woke up this morning and I thought, oh, for fuck's sake, what have I got myself into? It's like, you know, I need help. I seriously need fucking help at this moment in time. I feel, honestly, I feel like just taking a gun to my head and shooting myself.
Don't do it, Thomas. You've got so much to live for. I love you. Don't kill yourself.
By the way,
you already killed Grandma. Don't kill yourself too.
When I said you find out who your real friends are at a time like this, you know, because I basically spent the last week committing internet suicide, and how many people came out and told me and warned me and said, Thomas, for fuck's sake, what are you doing? Virtually no one. It's like you all pretend to be my friends, and yet when you see me committing internet suicide like this, you all just egg it on. You all just sit back and watch and think, well, let's watch the bin fire that ensues. Let's watch the car crash that ensues. So
this is the part that I decided I'll just watch. I've seen this part. I have not seen the remainder of this this video. It's about 3 more minutes left.
I just, you know, for fuck's sake, why didn't anyone warn me about any of this? You know, I would like to interject for a moment, because people did. At the bottom, this is the whole reason why I was trying to be not, like, you know, nice to him, is that I Hypocrite replied to him on his video, the second one, helped me fund a defamation lawsuit. And he says, I'm sorry you're going through this. I know it sucks, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. My 2 cents is not to waste your time and energy going to war with Kiwi Farms. I know it's trite advice, but don't feed the trolls is really the only approach to take with something like this. Many people have filed lawsuits against the Kiwi Farms and lost. Josh protects his own ass. Does not cave to legal action the way other people's do. You could always get a DNA test and post the results. I did that because people kept calling me a Jew. Take care, man, and try not to stress out about it. I took a DNA test, and it's told me that I was 0.5% Ashkenazi, so that didn't help in my case. Now I'm more Jewish than ever. If there's anything good can come from this, is that I've had to learn some tough lessons, but I can, you know, pass this on to young people out there. I was talking to Brutus one day, and he said that, you know, that Clarence Anstey, he does asshole Asshole Consulting, where he tells young men life advice for money. And Brutus said that I should do the same. And, well, let me do one of those videos today for free. Don't, if you're a young person on the troll, especially if you're like a YouTuber, don't feed the trolls. That would be my message. He's never going to win against them.
He's like so broken. Like, look at this. This is a 2-page long thread. All that's happened is that people looked at these videos and just said that's silly. I don't know if there's like personal harassment. I think like some people are posting, like this person, they joined just to say like, I'm thinking this is an elaborate troll. He's anti-lockdown, anti-NHS, but yet he's thanking the NHS staff for helping with his grandma. And say, I think some of these people in this thread are like trolls who know him from YouTube. But there's really like nothing's happened to him. What the fuck is it? What has changed his demeanor so much?
The best remedy in these cases.
It's like 30 posts. It's not
just
even.
To let it go. You just have to pretend it's not there, and you have to move on. Because it's basically, and I wish someone had fucking told me about this earlier. You're basically kicking over a hornet's nest. That's all you're doing. I mean, these people, well, if they have this thing where you get called a lol cow on Kiwi farms, and the more that you engage with the trolls, the more that they just destroy you. So I want to say to anyone watching this who wants some life advice, don't make the same mistake that I've made. I have had a wreck of a week. I really have. I've got a splitting headache. I am hungover. If Alcohol Anonymous are out there, maybe you can give me some help. I like my hair looks. I've got one more video to do because this isn't it. I have 10 coffees.
Just talking. I'll skip through that. I'll leave it there. I can't wait for his next video. Thoroughly enjoying the content so far. Someone said that they can confirm that there's gay ops against this guy. And if that's true, he really needs to just uninstall Discord. I can't tell you how much stress managing a Discord server is. Like even my shitty Discord, the Sneedcord, it is a lot of work to like deal with all the people, and it's like so fast paced, and there's always gay shit happening. Like legit, just uninstall it. I've lost nothing by switching by uninstalling Discord, and every so often, like a couple times a day, looking at the Element Matrix server and talking to people there. Discord really is just shit. Really, I can't advocate enough to stop using it. No, the Steam Discord. I don't have Discord, and I don't have Discord. I don't know anyone on Discord. I don't talk to people on Discord. I use Telegram for all the direct communication. I use Telegram and email for everything. That's it, and Signal. And if there's a Discord out there that's like a Maddie fan club, I don't know anyone in it. I don't know the managers of it. I have nothing to do with it, and I don't endorse any of them, because I guarantee you that if you stay in those things long enough, you will become a homosexual tranny, and you will accidentally hang yourself jerking off, doing autoerotic asphyxiation. That is the inevitable end of anyone on Discord. I can't advocate uninstalling it enough. Anyways, one more final thing, and then I'm hot and disgusting right now. I'm sticking to my chair. It's truly vile. So let me wrap this up with some discussion about someone I've never talked about before. But you might know him. His name is Kurtaner. He has a different name that more people will be familiar with, called well, no, I'm wrong. That is the name that you'll know. His name is Aubrey, but his online handle is Kurtaner. He's the 420 chan guy. And months ago in December, he started posting these vaguely threatening messages. Well, not vaguely threatening, just outright threatening messages, saying, quote, By the way, I do intend on the destruction of Kiwi Farms and Josh Moon seeing a prison cell. And that was like one of many messages he made, like on Twitter, saying that he would completely destroy the site, that we should expect him. And I took this seriously because I had heard of 420chan. I had heard of Kurtaner before. I knew people that know Kurtaner. And I talked to like Frederick, and I talked to Glaive, one of the former admins, and I said, like, what is the actual threat here with this guy? And I went through and reviewed all the security policies since the hack in 2019, and I tightened everything up, and I took it seriously because I didn't know who it was. And he even said like he was going to get Mother Jones to write some sort of massive hit piece on the forum and cause a political issue that would result in the government agencies taking the site down for whatever reason. And I got media inquiry at the same time, and I had seen these tweets, but I don't talk to the press. I'd seen the tweets, so I was kind of on edge for them to begin with. But then when they came in, they was like, hey, we want to do a positive story about the Kiwi Farms. And of course it was from like an anonymous Proton Mail account. So I just said, sorry, don't talk to the press, bye-bye. And nothing ever came out. And Kurtaner eventually got banned from Twitter some time ago because he was involved in a Parler-related hack. And from what I understand, he was a part of that. And when he published the information on Twitter, they banned him because it's against Twitter policy to post information that was obtained from a hack. And I think that policy came out because of Hunter Biden. They would ban anyone talking about Hunter Biden's laptop leaks. So they applied that policy to the Parler leaks as well and banned him for it. Now, the Parler hack, from what I understand, is that he just scraped public information from like an API that Parler had, and then he composed it into like a fake hack leak, and people thought it was an actual hack, and they went with it. And he was directly involved with that. So, fast forward a couple months later, and someone revitalizes this very dead thread about Kurtaner, and I look at it, and I get sent this video. And we're just going to sit through it. It's about 2 minutes long. It's an edit I put together and put out on Twitter already. But it's very interesting, I guess.
I understand. Ah! Yeah, blown up. One fight is compared to the other. Hey. This thing's a fucking balloon. Go away! Yeah. Normal foot. Not a normal foot. Ah! No. Oh. Oh. Hmm. 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 Ah!
Do I need to narrate this? It's hard to narrate it because it's like he just randomly screams. So I didn't like want to talk over it and get interrupted by him. In case you're only listening, you didn't miss much. He was showing his feet. Apparently one is swollen, and he was yelling about that. Then he ate a burger and he yelled mid-bite about just about nothing. There are video compilations of him in pain as he tries to like roll around and go to the bathroom. Someone put together like a 30-minute long supercut of that in case you're interested. I don't mean to like gloat that he's in pain. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking like, okay, so this was the guy that I got a little bit worried about. And I don't know. He got into an ATV accident. So I think it's like he's one part brain damaged and one part like an opiate zombie. And he made some tweet after I made a tweet about this, and he said like, I heard Joshua Moon's mad at me. I'm like, no, I'm not mad. I'm just kind of marveling at this unfortunate predicament. And, you know, there's only so much I can feel bad for him, because it's not like, oh, he got into an ATV accident and now he's just like hurt. Like that in and of itself is one thing, but he runs for 20chan, right? So from what people have said is that when he live streams, like that video was cut from a 48-hour continuous live stream, and he embeds it directly on 420chan when he's live, and he begs for money so that he can keep his house and stuff. And it's hard to feel bad for him, not just because he's putting this information out there on his own, but he's like a complete asshole. He has a kid, and I'll flick through this. Crunklord kind of sums it up in this thread. Spardot or Spardo, I don't know what the actual name is. He's posting her real name and posting their arguments with each other, and she's saying, "So you're going to use that against me again, despite the fact of all the help I got after and admitted time and time again I was wrong in drinking problem. You were sober and you beat the shit out of me, told me it made you hard to hear me cry." And he says, citation needed. And she says, "As you've done to me since we got together, no one believed me, you manipulative bastard." It was the main discord. And that's from like a criminal complaint against her, I guess, for domestic abuse. He posted this as like a gotcha. He says, "This subhuman trash," referring to the mother of his child, "piece of shit is slandering me with false allegations of wife beating and ignoring a decade of constant severe abuse done to me, corroborated by others, police reports, etc. He's a sick asshole." Oh, I guess the guy is using her claims. "He's a sick asshole obsessed with my girlfriend and just wants to hurt me and her. I'm done with this shit. You can keep my abusive ex if you want her so bad. Enjoy." And then this is the video apparently of him being beaten up by his girlfriend. "Haha, so sick of you doing this. Haha, I forgot about some of the footage of me uppercutting me and shit. Haha, wow, haha, fuck. I got some fucked up video of her lunging at me to get my phone, my screams as she is biting me, trying to make me let go. How fucking dare you? I'm done with this shit. Every time you try this, I'll just post photos and videos of my abuse, and we'll see you keep defending her then. I'm done." It goes on, it's back and forth, but the really sad part is this, where she messages him, I believe, and says, "Good to see you're not in jail yet." And then he says, "Not so good to see the mother of my child is so fucking pathetic. She keeps begging Kiwi Farms to fuck me up because she's butthurt that I didn't see a message overnight while streaming shit on Twitch. Wow, she is not parent material. Wow, holy shit, I need to get my son away from that woman. Enjoy dealing with the mess you made. Deuces, get the fuck out of my mentions with your crybaby depressive shit asshole." And he says, "You got butthurt that I didn't see signal messages overnight and proceeded to retaliate by spreading complete bullshit about me, begging people not to give me a job, and then asking Kiwi Farms to fuck me up harder. What the actual fuck is wrong with you?" And where is it? That's just him like bantering back and forth. This. Okay, this is actually his girlfriend messaging her. I think that's like the guy that is fucking with him and talking about the domestic situation between them. But she messages him and says, "Really wish we could raise this amazing kid together as a family. Oh well, I'm logging off Signal now to try and be less depressed. This is a nightmare. I miss you so much, Aubrey. We could have been coming home next month. We could have been raising our son together like a normal family. I don't want any of this. I love you so much. I don't want our marriage to be over. Could have just brought up all his stuff, started over raised a prodigal hacker son. Good luck with that. Now he's going to grow up in Florida. Oh no, the birthplace of all miscreants and misfits. I want him to get a great education. I love you. Miss my fur family so much too. Cringe. I miss you and I love you. I wish we could be a family. To which he replies by posting it on fucking 420chan. These private messages of her saying that she wants to be a family with him. And then she follows it up by saying, holy fuck, never mind. You're pure evil and I'm disappearing. You'll never hear from me or know shit about your son. Good riddance, you evil demon. Karma's going to catch up to you. Boo. And who boy when it does. And I guess this is right before the ATV accident. So I don't, I don't know if that's the karma. And then he calls her a snitch at some point. And then he's in pain. And this is from the supercut of him just screaming in pain. It is weird. And then there's this, I don't know. I don't want to call him like a pedophile or whatever, but there's rumors that in the early days of 420chan, this is from 2004, so very long time ago, and based on the chat logs, the IRC chat logs of the 420chan chat room on IRC, there was a dedicated /pedo board on 420chan, which both, and by the way, the Sarah in this is Sarah Nyberg, who is the person who had posts about being a pedophile on like a Final Fantasy forum years ago. That name might be familiar. So Cortana is like big fans of several Gamergate trannies and Gamergate personalities, and Sarah Nicholas Nyberg, and there was apparently a pedophile board on 420chan, and those are the allegations that people are talking about with that, because these are for Something Awful bands where they explicitly mentioned that he's a pedophile, I think in relation to the pedo board on 420chan. I'm not going to read through this, but if you want the logs, they're on the forum, so I don't know. Again, I'm not like happy that he's like an opiate zombie, but he seems like kind of an asshole, and I don't necessarily feel bad for his situation. It seems like he could have made better choices in life to be less miserable. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I've never talked about Cortana before, and I probably won't talk about him again, at least until he does something like directly involving me, because I don't find him that interesting. I don't have any like experience on 420chan. I think I like checked it out like late 2000s just because I heard of it, and I didn't get involved in it. Though I do find it funny, actually, that it's kind of gained a reputation after Gamergate of him being a tranny chaser, and the 420chan just being like a transgender board as well. And I want to read some posts that I picked out in preparation for this stream, highlighting the kind of people who post on 420chan. Quote from this person: I grew up super ghetto, so you can't give me that because we grew up, LOL. I have developmental delays. I still enjoy using 4chan. Well, that is a redundant statement. I found this website. A lot of people are pussies and it bugs me. I'm thinking of killing a bunch of people soon. Also 200 suicidal thoughts a day. Sorry for a blog post. So that's post 103. I like this one. I just want to be the one to peer into the matrix. To have such a vast network conquered by a crazed transgender technomancer is such an accomplishment. That's post 203. And this one from Lillian Chungerberg. I don't know if those names are... I think those names are randomly generated. Anyone else also really enjoying this shit? Referring to the picture of them with the mask on. It's so clutch that it's been socially acceptable to just cover my face in public for my entire transition. A bit over a year ago, I never get misgendered anymore, but I'm not looking forward to when they go away, to be honest. Even though my face is really starting to shape up, it's still now and probably always will be borderline at best without facial feminization surgery, which is nowhere in my future that I can see, as a student with no insurance. Hopefully, I'll at least be through with laser by then, and counting my blessings that my voice definitely doesn't give it away when I'm wearing a mask. So maybe that'll help when I'm finally am forced to show my hobgoblin-ass mug to the world. This shit has really spoiled me. It's like training wheels for passing. I've not been harassed once in a pretty conservative area, and I'm starting to get hit on to boot. They always mention that. Every fucking one of them. When they start, I got catcalled. I got hit on. I got groped and molested. I'm a real woman now. I get sexualized by random men, which is not the norm here. I really doubt these country yokel dudes would call me sweetie and horn if they could tell. Some dude even called me sunshine the other day. Lamau. Troons. Such is life. I think that's it. Have I failed to mention anything, chat? I think I have a pizza. I've ordered a pizza during one of the videos with the Thomas guy, so it's on the way. I have to end this quickly. Oh, aha! I forgot to mention. Big announcement, ladies and gentlemen. On let me make sure I get the date right. Hold up. On June 22nd, I will be doing a person stream. Does anyone want to guess who I'm doing a person stream on, chat? I want just name some names. Shoot your shot. What do you think I'm doing it on? Vouch? Nope. H3? Nope. Chantal? Nope. Von Helton? Dunn. Brian Dunn? Nope. Trisha? Nope. Jim Sterling? Nope. Vinty? Nope. Yaniv? I already did one on Yaniv. On June 22nd, Shoe on Head is turning 30. And she made a tweet some time ago admonishing everyone who has an age starting in 3. And I know she's going to be in such a state of mind where a birthday present will really, really elevate the mood. So on June 22nd, on Shoe on Head's 30th birthday, we will be doing a nice little stream covering her life as a Guidette, into a Boxy clone, into a whatever the fuck she is now, a starfucker, I guess is the most appropriate term. And there's a Kay's cooking stream that I wanted to play. You know what? I'll play that next week because it'll still be there, and I don't have my setup for bingo because I'm on Linux right now. I'll do Kay's cooking next week, I promise. All right. I do believe that's all. I'll see you guys next stream, June 22nd. And oh no, I don't have hamsters. Oh no. Hold up. I'll play. Oh God. Where are my hamsters at? I'll play the song that I want to play. I have to clip it out for the for the whatever the fuck the audio version anyway. So I'll end it here in a second. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on June 22nd. I'm gonna play my outro song and I'll find my hamsters during the outro song. Bye bye. Assuming I can find it. There it is. This is a very Reddit song, by the way, but I like it a lot, so go fuck yourself.
If I were a tardigrade, I'd move out from home. Why live in the shrubbery when you could have a throne? Pressure wouldn't squash me and fire couldn't burn. These are the things that I never will learn. These are the things I never will I live in the shrubbery, for that's all I crave. I don't want these excitements to see me to my grave. I can live life in vacuums for years with no drink, and put up with hardships more than you can think. Put up with hardships more than you can think. let myself dry out. I'll shrivel and sleep for some 15 odd years. I'd wake up, come water, and get on with living with time in my pocket to pass by the day. If I were a tardigrade, I'd move out from home. Why live in the shrubbery when you could have a throne? Pressure wouldn't squash me and fire couldn't burn